and welcome to the Glacially Musical Podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. Of course, I am Nick Cameron of the defunct, no-name, small-time musical blog, Glacially Musical, joined by my good friend, a man who always shows up 5 minutes late. You can always set your watch by where he's going to be, except this week where he was waiting for me. How's it feel, buddy? My good friend, the ever-reliable Keefy Kakar. How we doing today, buddy?
I'm feeling festive.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ, monkey business. Stop that.
All right.
All right, Keefy doesn't get to talk now. Mute yourself, sir. Thank you for joining us this week for our third episode of Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, the series. You may notice my hair is shorter this week. I went crazy and got a real big boy haircut for a change. Barber loved it. Anyway, here's how we do this. Thank you for joining us. We are going to hit Dirty Rotten Imbeciles crossover, their third LP-ish, whatever you want to call it. Before we get to that, however, we've had a greeting, which we've done. We have a beer check, which I've got ready to rock and roll. We do a vinyl check, a news check, a shirt check, and then we roll into the meat of the episode. My vinyl check this week is a collaboration beer. You may notice me looking down because I forget the second brewery. It is a collaboration from Four Hands Brewing, downtown St. Louis, next to Old Rock House, where I have seen Bass Drum of Death, where I have seen the Lemonheads playing It's a Shame About Ray start to finish. And Hop Butcher Brewing. Keefy, what am I going to rock this week?
I have no idea. I have no idea. You said vinyl at first, and I was
Did I?
completely thrown off.
No,
my game.
beer.
No idea. Surprise me.
Voltron, Volume 3, The Black Lion. Again, collaboration between Four Hands Brewing and Hop Butcher.
Let's hope to Christ it tastes better than the Green Lion beer.
The Green Lion beer was just frankly terrible. Finger fudge pour.
And now it's my turn. I'm going to have once again another familiar beer because comfort is what I need right now. So I got a good old Montucky cold snack. Pop going down. I heard it. Finger fudge poured.
I heard it.
No whammy, no whammy. No whammy, no whammy. No whammy, no whammy. Let's cheers up the beers up.
Cheers, my friend.
And I'm going to make a toast. We never do a toast. I'm going to do a toast to the Supreme Court of Colorado. Y'all are on my heart right now. In my heart.
Oh, don't worry. We got another one coming on Friday. It's Maine.
And then Wisconsin. So.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Cheers.
Anyway, quick vinyl check for Nick. Nothing.
What?
I thought I was. I didn't really have anything to show up.
You had so much stuff. We just did a big vinyl episode. You have nothing left over. You said you had been buying crazy stuff.
You saw it all. It was expensive.
That's insane.
And I.
Why didn't you hold something back for this week?
Because I hate myself.
Yes.
But I'll have something next week, I presume. But in the meantime,
I would have checked two. Oh well, I'm gonna check one. I got this cool album. My vinyl check is Fever Dream by the Bay Area punk band Grumpster. I'm a big fan.
I think Fever Dream might now be my favorite ever album title.
It is a pretty good album title. This is a bit of a wasteful double gatefold or gatefold. Nick is not a fan, but a very cool, distinctive front cover. Very distinctive back cover. I think I dropped the lyric sheet. Hold on. It also has a download card, which I appreciate. Doesn't come with a lot of these. Don't come with a download card. So lyrics on one side, then this very bizarre tarantula thing on the back, with some credits, and we got a inside paper sleeve. I didn't need it, but it's cool, just in case you forgot who the band was. And a photo of the very fetching Grumpster. And then this is a blue-green vinyl variant. Very hallucinogenic blue-green.
I
Kind
dig
of
that. I dig
similar,
that.
similar to the color of my eyes in a certain light.
Stop that.
And that is my vinyl check. And the download card is now on the floor somewhere. But Grumpster, new album, I believe, coming in 2024. This
Just
is
gonna
from
say,
22.
this green light I have behind my beer makes my beer look green, and it creeps me out.
All right.
I'm gonna move my beer.
Also, that vinyl was $20. $20 at the store at the show. I went to see them do a bit of a co-headline thing with the Warriors at a tiny bar that I love and have found favor at, the Parkside in San Francisco, right near my house.
Look at the size of my beer. It's actually only a pint. Anyway, time for the news check. My news check is something that Keefy alerted me to today. Two of the greatest nerd rappers of all time announced a Kickstarter 5 months ago that I completely missed. So, hopefully, soon to be friends of the show, MC Lars and Schaefer the Dark Lord are releasing a collaboration album called 999, which I'm going to be honest right now, I'm not a big fan of that title. We already had Green Jello 333. I wish somebody would do 668, the neighbor of the beast. That would be way funnier to me because it is not 667 in American addressifying. 667 would be across the street. So it would be 668 or 664. So if anybody wants to steal that, I give it to you. Please use it. So they're releasing a collaboration album based on the occult references of Disney property movies. Okay. Not a fan of Disney. Didn't grow up with it. It's like Star Wars to me. I think if you didn't grow up with Star Wars, you ain't getting on the train now. You cannot get on the train in Star Wars at age 35. It's just not gonna.
So to me, there's two eras of Disney. Anybody that's under our age group grew up with like Lion King, Ariel, Under the Sea. You know what I'm saying? And the modern Disney princesses, which I like, princesses. And then there's the Gen Xers and older who had like Lady and the Tramp, Aristocats, Jungle Book. Those are my Disney movies, not the later ones. Although I appreciate the later ones. We all saw them.
I did not.
Yeah, if you didn't, it's weird that you didn't, but it's okay that you didn't.
I grew up in a family where I was ignored.
Damn it.
So,
that's awful.
I don't know. I didn't have to see any Disney movies.
I guess. No love for my Santa hat at all. My black Santa hat. None.
Oh, that's what that is. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I didn't wear my festive. I'll flip my. God.
Okay.
I'm going to angrily flip my hat.
You're breaking the rule.
Okay. What was the rule?
What happens this week? What is this week? What is this week's holiday?
Kwanzaa.
No.
Hanukkah.
No.
Actually, yes. But also
no.
Christmas.
Still no.
All right. Festivus?
Nope.
I give up.
Nick's birthday.
Well, yes, of course. Is that the 24th?
23rd.
So, the day after this airs. Very well. Happy birthday early. Another cheers.
Cheers, my friend. I will be in Vegas when this airs, so please definitely get me the information tomorrow so I can get it up.
You'll have it tonight.
Okay, I'm not going to mess with it tonight.
Yeah, Nick's birthday. How old are you now? Or how old will you be?
11.
11 times 5.
70 jillion dollars. I will be 48 years old. 48. Right. You got a news item, or do you just want to move into shirts?
I do have a news item. The gift that keeps on giving, Gene Simmons. We're recording this on Peter Criss's 75th birthday.
Happy birthday, Peter Criss. Please don't die. You are the only one of the original 4 that has any class in 2023.
That's a fact, a stone cold fact. He was thrown a surprise party by his wife Gigi. And,
real quick, him and Gigi
Peter.
have now been together nearly 30 years.
That's impressive by any stretch.
Hopefully his daughter, Jenna Lee, will finally end the estrangement over Gigi.
Oh, gosh. That's way more drama than I was hoping for after shouting the guy out for his birthday. But
Sorry.
speaking of Kiss, Gene Simmons acknowledges that I don't know if this is defeat already, but he said they're putting $200 million into the avatars, and they're going to get better looking over time. Is he acknowledging that they look kind of crappy now? Because they do.
They look terrible. I mean, it looks like watching the very first CGI special effects in like Willow from 1987.
Yikes. Ace Frehley told a story this week about how he punched out Tommy Thayer once backstage.
Oh, Ace, please tell that old chestnut again. We haven't heard you.
Keep telling those stories, Ace. He's really grasping at straws, and I don't understand why. And then here's an interesting bit of... I was going to save this for the Ghost Cult podcast, which I may also just bring it up again then. But I wanted to get your take on it. Kirk Hammett, in an interview this week, said that he thinks guitar solos... One of the guys who has made the most memorable guitar solos of the last 30, 40 years... thinks that guitar solos are not memorable and will not be remembered in the future. Are you serious, bro? Really?
Kirk, I absolutely love you. Don't talk, just play. Let's just go ahead and quote the worst, greatest guitar player of all time, Frank Zappa. Shut up and play your guitar and stop singing backups while we're at it, because you never do it well.
Yeah, it's just wild. And then just a minor bit of news. I checked not too long ago. I think I have it laying around here somewhere. Let's see if I can quickly locate it here off camera. I had checked this vinyl guy from Reno a while back. Today is the day. This reissue of No Good to Anyone. Today is the day announced 2 more reissues of their classic albums, and their main front person and mastermind, Steve Austin, not to be confused with the 2 other Steve Austins you know of, has relaunched he took control of all his masters that were acquired by BMG. He actually got control of his own music, which is unusually and rare. And he's going to reissue 2 more classic Today is the Day albums on his own label, DIY Till You Die. So, Supernova Records USA. So, I just think that's really inherently very cool for underground metal. I know you're not familiar really with the band, but I think it would be interesting at some point to do a run on this band, but maybe not the next run.
Anyone I don't hate, I'm more than welcome to do a run on.
Anybody I don't already hate. I love Nicholas.
Like
I love
Tool.
you, man. Oh, stop it.
I can't help it that I hate Tool. I'm sorry.
I hate that you hate Tool.
It's 1992.
Tool is like one of my favorite 5 bands.
It's unfortunate.
I have almost all their records on vinyl.
That is... I'm happy for you.
I love them so much.
That is unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and shirt check now.
All right.
Bought this shirt weeks ago, and it finally showed up. It's my Joe Pesci Funny How shirt, and I just love it.
So I'm laying in the weeds doing the Piscataway job. And the cop comes along, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm resting. Here you resting? I'm resting. It's a great...
I know I'm resting. I'm resting.
By the way... Oh, go ahead.
Lawyer wife did not get the reference, and I'm like, we could just watch them. She's like, I've never seen Goodfellas, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but we can totally watch it. All your favorite Sopranos characters are in it. She's like, her response was, I have no favorite Sopranos characters.
I knew that was going to happen. So I just, because I've had a very tough couple of weeks in my life, I needed some comfort shows. So I just binge watched all of Sopranos and put myself through the pain of watching The Many Saints of Newark one more time. And
seen it once. I'm not going a second time.
It holds up. The show holds up, not the movie. And I still hate the ending of Sopranos. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched it, but it sucks. Sorry, not sorry. But what I have been doing, so that was all last week. I just during my work day, I just have it going in the background, and I'm listening and binge watching it as I'm working. And then I've been listening to the Sopranos podcast by Steven Sherpa and Michael Imperioli. Bobby Bacala and Christopher Moltisanti. So what a great podcast this. They do
I
86
like to think of him
episodes.
as I like to think of him as Spider.
Spida, and he talked about that, and there's a callback in the first season when he goes into the pastry shop and shoots the kid. Spoiler alert. It's a complete nod by David Chase to the spider scene in Goodfellas. There is a bit of Goodfellas that rubs off on
A, a bit.
Sopranos a bit, quite a bit.
A bit.
Actors, scenes,
It,
callbacks, references.
there is not one person in The Sopranos, apart from T2, that didn't have a part in Goodfellas. James Gandolfini, of
And
course.
James Gandolfini, who was a stage actor at that time and wasn't well known. So,
But I mean, Lauren Bracco's in it. Both of her parents from
yes.
Goodfellas are in it.
Yes. Yes,
And
correct.
Lauren
actually
Bracco,
auditioned for Carmela and didn't get it.
No, they asked her to play
Oh, and she turned it
Carmela.
down. She turned it down.
Correct. She said, "No, I already did that role. I'm not doing it again."
It's pretty interesting.
Good on her. However, and if she taken Carmela, she would have had her Jewish mother, who's now Italian, in
Right.
her mother again.
Same. That's probably also. I was going to say, if you watch the show and you love the show, as cringy as it may be at times, do check out the podcast. I've really been enjoying this podcast.
I need some new podcasts to listen to. I've gotten a little tired of a lot of the ones that I have done. But in order for people not to get tired of what we do, let's move on into the greatest year in the National League, 1987. 1987, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles release a new record. What's going on in 1987? We have reached the lame duck era of Ronald Reagan. The Cold War is starting to thaw. The St. Louis Cardinals are robbed of the World Series by the Homer Dome, a stadium so bad they had to tear it down eventually. I'm trying to think. Actually, yeah, no National League team ever won in the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Now that I think about it, even the Atlanta Braves, when they went to the World Series 12 times in a row, lost up there. But D.R.I. releases their third record, and their first album, which we did 3 weeks ago now, it wasn't an album, it was an EP, and that album was a roadmap. The second record, dealing with it, which was finally a long playing album, is an evolution. And their third record, Crossover, which we get into today, is a revolution. It is a revolution. It is an evolution. It is the birthing of a new style of music. Within 3 to 4 years, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, and I will also mention Cro-Mags, because I feel like I need to at this point, become household names in the underground metal scene and will be remembered forever for what they did at this time. It is when they achieved what Metallica attempted to achieve in 1983. No, I take that back. That's not exactly true. They took what Metallica did in 1983 when they combined punk and new wave of British heavy metal, and they combined punk rock and thrash metal, creating crossover metal. And because metal people are not necessarily great with coming up with genre titles, grindcore, new wave of British heavy metal, new wave of American metal, nouveau thrash, looking at all you assholes. And black metal, which is named after Venom's record Black Metal, which ironically was the new wave of British heavy metal. We'll take no questions at this time on that one. So, crossover becomes a legitimate genre. Let me rephrase that. It becomes a legitimate genre. That's funny. Get it? See, I changed the G's. But I'm thankful for that, because I think crossover is one of the coolest kinds of metal. Because at any given time, that car can go completely off the track. That train can fall straight off the rails. It can go straight up Amtrak at any given time.
Oh, is it my turn? Things that also happened in 1987. In January of 1987, the New York Football Giants won the Super Bowl, their first title in 30 years against the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that same day my mother got married for the 5th time and did not invite me.
Ouch, fuck. Boy, this is gonna be some painful shit. Cause also in 1987, my dad died. I was 15 years old, and he had a heart.
Which one of us is worse?
He had a heart attack and died, which was 36 years ago, 2 days ago. So exactly
All
36
right,
years ago.
can we just both say together, fuck 1987?
I mean, not entirely.
Except for the Cardinals.
I started high school. Cardinals won the series. Giants won the Super Bowl.
National. No, they won the National League.
Oh, sorry. Giants won the Super Bowl, which was a huge deal in my life. Pops passed. That sucked.
Last season of the St. Louis Football Cardinals playing in Busch Stadium. And let me say to the world, bring back multi-use stadiums.
I kind of concur. Also, yeah, I don't think it was the worst year in American history either. One thing that is interesting, it's funny that you brought up Cro-Mags, because Cro-Mags were pushed in a metal direction by one Michael Alago, who we've discussed in the past, and maybe we'll have him on as a guest at some point. He's kind of a friend of mine. I could possibly get him as a guest. He's the guy who signed Metallica to Elektra Records and was
we need a chaser in 2 weeks.
We could use one. I don't know if I can get him on that short notice, but yeah, we can get him. And he also produced and discovered White Zombie, so a lot of things. But one of the things in '87 that happened a month after Crossover was released is another Crossover album without it being called Crossover, which was Suicidal Tendencies Joined the Army. Literally a month after this, and they're very similar records, actually.
You can't go a week without bringing up Suicidal.
I can't, and you just have to eat it.
I will eat their butts. However, take that however you want. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll eat Rocky George's butt because he's an incredible lead guitarist. So, and your own butt also. So, just, yeah. They are very similar albums by very similar bands that started out as hardcore with a little metal flair, and they became increasingly metal. And I think this also follows Exodus, Bonded by Blood. So,
however, it does not follow D.R.I. this way. They hit this sweet spot, and they just keep popping butterscotch wafers.
That's not untrue. And
discs, butterscotch discs.
Okay. And I feel like, yeah, this is the pinnacle of D.R.I. This is a normal album by them. It's not like 45, 30-second songs. It's 13 tracks, really 12 songs, with an outro track as the 13th. And it was produced by their guitarist Spike Cassidy and Bill Metoyer, who is well known for working with Slayer and a bunch of other metal and thrash bands. So, I think at this point they had relocated to California from Texas. At this point, it's possible.
I'm going to quote, the sheriff of, Prince John, as played by Richard Lewis in Robin Hood Men in Tights. How did you come by the name Latrine? We changed it. It used to be Shit House. That's a good change. Texas to California, it's a good change.
Indeed. So, yeah, man, fun times. We do have the classic, the iconic Thrash guy or Thrash Hard logo is on the front cover. I
love that logo. I mean, if you don't look at that and think to yourself, Third Wave Ska ripped this dude off, you've never been to a Toasters concert.
That is accurately true. I do have a D.R.I. patch on the back of my battle vest with the Thrash guy.
I've been to 2 Toasters concerts.
That's impressive. Madness is doing a tour of the U.S. next year, by the way. Just throwing that out there for you and the wife.
Well, I hope they have fun.
Yikes. So,
speaking of tours next year, though.
In the middle of a street.
I think I have that on vinyl. I got some Madness on vinyl. I bought tickets to Shubalub. I'm going to see Shubalub.
We're going to see the Red Hot Chili. You paid the exorbitant amount of money for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. OMG.
My lawyer wife paid for it. Also seeing the Journey Def Leppard stadium show.
I can't do Journey, so I would go to that tour, except that I can't do. I'd love to see Heart and Def Leppard by themselves.
We'll be seeing Cheap Trick. Cheap
Oh,
Trick.
Cheap Trick. Sorry, yeah.
So we're getting the worst of the three openers.
You are.
No
You are.
disrespect to Cheap
Oh,
Trick, whom I love dearly.
yeah. Peter Wilson on our Kiss episode over at Ghost Cult Mag's YouTube espoused Cheap Trick as the greatest American rock band, and it's hard to, you can make a good case that it's.
Is he Latvian?
No.
I can't think how you would think that unless you were like, Slovenian or something.
I think unless you were not paying attention, he made a very good case why. But anywho, I don't agree, but I like that he made a good case why.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
I still say it's Van Halen first 6, but yeah. Even
You
with
know-
the squiffy the 30-30-30 albums that they have.
Once you get past Van Halen 2, they become 30-30-30s. However, in those 30-30-30s, the first 30 is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'd say 1984 is pretty great all the way through. But that's just
Yeah,
me.
that's the they bell curve is it's a total bell curve. But when you have a 30-30-30 record where the best song on it is Unchained,
Don't go
Hell,
there. That's my record, and that's my
that
song.
record Unchained is an amazing. That is
That
the
song
best
is
band.
that song is at 1090 actually. That album's at 1090.
That song, however, is a 758 out of 5.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That record might be it might be a 1090, but that 10.
You remember the Avengers, the first Avengers movie where Thor uses Mjolnir and shocks Tony Stark's suit, and Jarvis
Yeah.
comes on and says, "Suit powered at 500%." That is Unchained.
Yes,
As a
that is
song.
completely Unchained. That is the greatest Every band gets a perfect song. Van Halen got like 50, but nothing they did approached Unchained before or after. And it's on, what is it, Diver Down?
Women and
No,
children.
it's not on
first?
Women. I have that one. It's on the one Diver Down. I don't have that one.
I
It's
feel
the
like
one that's half covers. It's got like Pretty Woman and Dancing
They
in
have-
the Streets.
They have 2 albums that are like that, by the way.
It's like they wrote Unchained and just like it's like they were spent. Bring in some covers. We got to finish this stuff out. Anyway, back to whatever we were doing.
It's from Fair Warning, which I should know because it's I love that song.
Oh, I do have Diver. I think I have. I have. No,
Diver
I do
Down
have
is
Diver Down.
definitely like half covers.
Fair Warning. Oh, that's the one with the brown cover, like the brown woodcut.
Yep.
I don't have that one. I believe that is the last David Lee Roth Van Halen record I require, and then I still want For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge because that record is an abject banger. If you disagree, you're wrong. And that's fine.
Kind of I think it's got 3 great songs and the rest is crap. But that's Sammy in a nutshell. He's not good. He's not good. Not his career, not Montrose. Nothing he ever did.
Tell
is
you
that
what,
good.
when I go to Cabo San Lucas next year for my 15th anniversary, I will poop on his bar.
I want you to poop on him.
Or
Anyway,
in his bar. Maybe in his bar on a toilet, but that's still qualified.
Poop on his tequila glass. But anyway, sorry. So yeah, man.
We digress. Let's move forward to properness.
This is a pretty great record crossover. I remember hearing this in my. I didn't really hear this came out in February, and I was sort of vaguely aware of the band. But I came to high school in September and immediately fell in with a metalhead crowd. I gravitated to the metalheads that were in my music classes and my other classes, and I had a sort of a black denim jacket that was faded from a million washes and wear and tear, and it had a couple of classic rock and prog patches on it, but I was long hair metal kid at that time, and before I started cutting all the time, and I got a tape with this record, and I love this record, right alongside of Suicidal, Not Sorry, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. To me, D.R.I. was one of those bands, and then I realized later they were like, oh, they started out as punk. So I don't know if you want to lead this track by track or not, but I don't know if you're ready for it. If you have anything else to espouse about this record, but I'm ready.
It is. I'm gonna quote my very wise co-host. This is your series. This is your choice. You lead it.
It really wasn't my choice. I agreed to your choice, but that's fine.
I said, you said, do you have any ideas? And I said, D.R.I.
And
you
I
said,
agreed.
you said, that's what I was going to say.
Did I? I don't remember
Yes,
that.
100%.
I'm drunk. I don't remember any of this.
100%.
All right.
So I will let you lead it because you wouldn't let me not lead any of the last series I did,
Sure,
which
pal.
I chose for you, and I don't remember what it was. But
GWAR. Anywho,
no, it wasn't. Was it? No, it
yeah,
wasn't GWAR.
the last series was GWAR. Bro.
Okay, there was a series I chose for you. It was Exodus. That's what it was. It was Exodus. I chose that because I thought you would love it.
I did love it.
I'm not the hugest Exodus fan. I think I've seen them 4 times now, which is a lot for me. Well, with living in flyover country and all.
That's fair.
But for this
by the way, just randomly, since you brought up flyover country, did you like the video I sent you today on Facebook?
I haven't had a chance to watch it. I
Oh
apologize.
no!
Did you watch
we're from St. Louis, so of course we blank. That's what that video is.
Did you watch the St. Louis "How Do You Do It" video?
I did not.
Oh my god, that is one of my favorite. It's my favorite song now. How does St. Louis do it?
Oh, okay.
105 in the summertime, winter's 10 below. That's us.
Well, one of those things is we're from St. Louis. Of course, we have all 4 seasons in the same week. You'll watch it and love it.
No, we have all seasons in the same day. I once had a day where I left my house. It was 85 degrees. By 10 a.m., it was 70. By noon, it was 40 and raining. When I was driving home, it was snowing.
That's crazy.
That's St. Louis. We're right in the middle. We're right. We're at the epicenter of like all the hemispheres. St. Louis is basically the center of the world, as near as I can tell.
I know that "Take It Easy" by the Eagles, the despised by everyone Eagles.
Not me. Not despised by me.
Not despised by me either. Maybe we should do the Eagles as a series.
Oh, we should do the Eagles.
Winslow, Arizona is supposed to be those 4 interlocking states that overlap with each other, but I think it's actually St. Louis.
No, we only have 2 states in St. Louis. There is Missouri does hit 7 states in total. However, not here. Okay. Anyway, I did not hear this record contemporarily. In fact, I only heard it like 3 or 4 years ago. D.R.I. for me kind of began and ended with Next Week, which is 4 of a Kind, which I will spooge all over that record next week. I bought this album crossover 3 or 4 years ago on a reissue vinyl. I have not picked up an original pressing, and I probably won't. But I will say my repress sounds pretty damn good, and I listened to it twice this week, and I listened to this on YouTube as well. So I've chalked up 3 spins on this record, and honestly, I don't think I made it through a single spin of this album front to back before this week. Man, Nik sucks.
No, I mean
No, I should have.
There's only so many. There's only so many albums to get. It's hard to get to everything.
No, if I buy a record, if you buy a vinyl record, you need to listen to the goddamn thing.
That's fair. I agree.
If you buy them and put them on the wall, except for the one version of Pink Floyd The Wall that I have on the wall, I don't like you. I have another version of The Wall that's not on the wall. It's on the wall of records. And then I've also got several other versions of Pink Floyd The Wall that are done by other people. I have 6 versions of The Wall.
Please don't get the Roger Waters version of The Wall. It was very hard.
I have 2 Roger Waters versions of The Wall.
Oh, no, I meant the new one. Oh, I'm sorry, the Roger Dark Side. That's not the
You know what? That stuff is still $42 on Amazon, and I had originally said when it hit 25, I'm going to pull the trigger. I think I'm waiting for 17 now.
It's getting worse.
I am the target market.
You really are. Oh well, I guess we'll do the track by track. Apparently, Outro is only a separate track on digital releases, and originally was just part of the end of the last track. Let's do the track by track. I will shout out the titles. You will make a comment. Arguably, maybe even the best song in the history of the band, or in the top 5. The 5-Year Plan, still played live to this day. One of their most iconic songs. What are your thoughts on the 5-Year Plan kicking off this album?
Abject classic. And if you're with a record, it's like comedy, man. You got to start strong and you got to finish strong. You can't be like waffles, or you can't be like pancakes. Starts good, and then in 5 minutes you're all sick of them. And This is a great song. It really cements the new movement of the band. They have gone in a different direction. They have they as I mentioned earlier, the first two albums were heading towards a destination, and when 5 Year Plan comes out, they have achieved and arrived at that destination. And that destination is Shangri-La. If you love crossover.
Fair enough. I do believe that D.R.I. was signed. We mentioned this a little bit in the last episode. This is their second record for Metal Blade, who had lost Slayer, and I feel like this was their attempt to get Slayer, like replacement for Slayer.
Swing and a miss.
Swing, a little bit of a swing and a miss, because there's no other band like Slayer. The second track also played for live for a long time. Tear It Down, a little bit shorter, a little bit leaner. Killer. By the way, the production of this album is all, again, for the second record in a row, the best sounding record they have made.
It is the perfect level of production. It is sloppy and tight. The playing is tight, the recording is sloppy. It just creates some metal magic, because you know what? There are not a lot of bands that can really thrive in that level. Metallica can't do that. And I take that back. Lulu is nope, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Sloppy recording, tight playing. That is a formula I cannot name on any other album.
Fair enough. Thoughts on Tear It Down, if you have any? Maybe none? I don't
know. You know what? The thing about this record is it is not it's for me it's the proto Four of a Kind. It has that same kind of sound, that same kind of vibe, but it doesn't have the same kind of writing. There's a lot on this record where they're angry, they're out there, but they don't have as much to say as they do in a couple of years.
I'll allow it. The third track is more of a throwback to their earlier stuff. A Coffin, 58 seconds. Just a blast.
You got to give the kids you got to throw the dogs a bone sometimes.
Just a blast of punk rock to make sure you didn't forget, like, screw these guys, I'm out. And they brought you back almost to their first record with A Coffin.
Almost. They completely went back to the first record.
Fair. Number 4, some of these middle, there's no soft underbelly here. Some of these middle tracks are my favorite D.R.I. songs ever, by the way. Starting with Probation. Great lyrics, killer riff, a very thrash metal riff. And also, again, got to shout out the unsung hero of this era of the band, Felix Griffin, on the drums. Double kicks, a lot of blasting double kicks, and thrash, kind of paradiddles and thrash, like pen chant for thrash standard bearer drum parts.
Yes, he is probably the MVP on this record. His drums are tight and solid and heavy, boy. It is heavy. And his double kick is just amazing. No complaints about Felix. He brought a brand new kind of feel to the band. I think he's what changed them from, what could have easily been Cow Piggy. That's not right. Death Piggy. Death Piggy style crossish. It wasn't crossover yet, but he took them away from that kind of sloppy into some tight playing, which I think really just changed the face of the band. Because when you have a good drummer, I have no rhythm as a guitar player, but if you give me a 2/4 beat, I will not miss a note. And that's what he did for this band, is he put all of these guys that are basically playing as high as Jimi Hendrix on New Year's Eve, and they became machines.
High as giraffe dicks. So the 5th track on this record is
I don't get that reference.
High as giraffe dicks. IDKY is the 5th track.
Are you talking about like the first round draft pick in the NBA? How high the dick is because they're like 8 feet tall?
Giraffe dicks.
Oh, I thought you said
the Pinasia of giraffes. Anywho, no giraffes are harmed in the making of this podcast. IDKY is the 5th track on the record. Little squiffy. It's short, mercifully. Not quite as good as A Coffin, but it's decent.
Unnecessary, but it's fine. It's not awful. And if you get to the soft underbelly and the worst thing you can say about it is unnecessary, You're probably doing all right.
Fair enough. The sixth track on the record is my second favorite song on the entire record. Brilliant, brilliant song. Decisions. Very similar to Couch Slouch in its intent. Suburban, white, middle class melees, political lyrics. Really great song. Interesting attempt at a solo by Spike. It's not bad, but it's like a punk rock guy tries to do a solo, and it's kind of like falling upstairs instead of down. Eddie Van Halen used to say his guitar style was like falling down the stairs, and Spike's is like falling up. But I really love this song. It's the longest song on the record, also.
It sounds like the kind of solo a skateboarder would play while on a half pipe. That's the best way I can describe it. Right now, we're getting to the point of the record where the bass playing is really taking a front seat to this. There are a lot of bass. To call them solos might be overstating the might be overstating it a little bit, but to call them fills is understating it. So bass highlighting of the bass, and it's awesome. I love that really strong, heavily picked bass sound, kind of stuff. And it's so fast and so tight, I can't even like sing it. And we're into that part of the record where they're just starting, they're starting to really find themselves. And it's more than just the record at this point. Now we're looking at a band looking at each other, trying to decide, is this all we are, or do we have another form? Are we in the larval stage, the pupal? I'm sorry. Or is this a caterpillar? Is this a cocoon? Or are we a butterfly? We are ready for them to come out of the cocoon as a gremlin pissed off about a blood test.
Interesting. I always thought Josh, who died a couple of years ago, maybe the last year and a half he died, I always thought that his bass playing was very influenced by either Xander Schloss of Circle Jerks or Dukowski from Black Flag. Both pick players.
Yeah, completely makes total sense when you think about where this band came from.
The next three tracks are pretty similar to me, but I do love them all. This also comprised the beginning of side 2 on a tape. And so, a tape that was made for me. I don't know if it's actually
IDKY is the last track on side 1.
Okay, so that makes sense. The Decisions, Hooked, Go, Die, and Redline are all very fond. I'm fond of them all. So Hooked, these are all pretty middle album tracks. Again, not a soft underbelly, but pretty raging. Probably Redline is the best of the three of these.
I would call this, it's not a soft underbelly because it's not the kind of songs you need to hide, but they're not songs you want to feature either. This album is fun. I listened to it literally twice in a row over the course of 90 minutes. And it's still on my turntable, and I kind of want to do it again. I listened to it once on vinyl when I got home, and I listened to it on YouTube via streaming when I started cooking dinner, which, by the way, I'm going to announce the new system I got going. I am now cooking more vegetables. I did a stir fry featuring brown rice that I purchased myself. Brown rice, yellow pepper, orange pepper, red pepper, celery, scallions, and a little bit of chicken. Trying to improve the diet at home.
I'm desperately concerned for you right now. What? What?
I know.
I guess. All right.
Tomorrow I'm making homemade bean burgers.
Holy shit.
I'm probably not going to eat one.
Yeah, I bet.
But on Tuesday, though, however, I am cooking homemade tomato sauce.
Oh, that's cool. Gravy. Again, I've been watching a lot of Sopranos, so I think I'm having sausage and peppers for dinner after this.
Gravy! Can I get some gravy on this? What do you mean? Some tomatoes, some red sauce. And I told you the Germans were pieces of shit.
Italians don't say red sauce, by the way, ever. Never. Anywho.
How's the gravy today?
Hooked, About Drugs, Go Die, and Redline are clearly political songs. I love Redline. Redline is like literally in my DNA as a political person, as a very lefty-leaning commie bastard, and it still holds true today. Moving along to the end, I'm just going to skip forward to we're getting to the end of the record.
Totally fine.
No Religion, perfect, no notes, fun and games, decent, thrashy, rock. And then weirdly, I don't love Oblivion, the longest final track of the album. Not a big fan.
I dig Oblivion. I like that one. Again, the thing about this album is when, and we're going to talk about this more at length next week, so I'm just going to say this one little thing. This is an undercooked version of Four of a Kind. We are seeing a band spreading their wings into a new style, a style that didn't exist. We are seeing a band that is trying to be political. Now we're gonna, and now we're seeing, and then we're gonna see them move into not just American geopolitical issues, but worldwide geopolitical issues. This is the pupil stage of Four of a Kind. Four of a Kind comes out.
You keep saying pupil, but you mean pupa. P-U-P-A. Which is
I'm quoting fucking Gremlins, okay? Leave me alone.
Okay, fine.
Did you get the Gremlins reference earlier?
I didn't. I guess it's a Christmas movie though, so I'll allow it.
It's not a Christmas movie.
Gremlins is absolutely a Christmas
Gremlins movie. It's a movie.
He gets
about
a
gremlin.
He gets one. He gets one for Christmas. It's a Christmas gift.
Just because Christmas happens in a movie doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie. I went to see it last week.
Wouldn't know. Never seen it.
You're terrible.
And now
you don't understand Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt.
No, I have no issues with Bruce Willis. In fact, Hudson Hawk and The Last Boy Scout are some of my favorite movies.
I love The Last Boy Scout. Like I said, we probably need a separate podcast where we just watch movies and say fucked up shit over it.
I will say, however, that his scene in Pulp Fiction, useless.
A little bit.
And overly long. Where was I? Where was I before you jumped in?
If he pops up out of a bowl of rice in Indochina, I want a motherfucker ready to bust a cap in his ass.
Let me just ask you one question, my friend. What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
Does he look like a bitch?
He's black?
Poor John Cryer. Is that John Cryer or somebody else?
No, that was Frank Whaley.
I only know Frank Whaley beside that movie from getting killed in the Red Dragon movie.
Wow, my name is Keefy and I never saw The fucking Doors.
I know. I didn't care about him in The Doors, though. He's not good in it.
He was Robbie Krieger in The Doors.
Yeah, I guess. He's not good in it.
And I remember seeing the dude that played John Densmore in some like almost nearly softcore porn movie.
I was probably high watching that movie several times. All right.
Moving forward, this record is a B+. It's an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Great record, fun record. It's only that low because it's not Four of a Kind.
I think it's an A because it's historically significant, and you have to give it
That's
the
fair.
A. I think it does, or a B, like a low A, high B+.
I said B+. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
You don't.
All right.
Okay, fine. It's an 8.75. It is an 8.875. It is 8 and 7/8.
I don't do grading on that scale, but anywho, great record. Great record. Probably the pinnacle of their career. You think it's Four of a Kind. I think it's this one. Thrash Zone is not bad, but it's already starting to go downhill. We'll get to it next week a little bit.
I have never actually heard Thrash Zone, so
well,
I look forward to that week.
Fair enough.
Are we doing that?
I don't think so. I think we said we were going to end by the end of the year, so we're going to not do Thrash Zone, but maybe we'll talk a little bit about it in parting.
Well, let's see, because today is the 20th. Our next recording session is the 27th. So if we do Thrash Zone, it comes out on the 3rd. We record on the 3rd.
They're a year apart. They're less than a year apart, actually, in terms of releases. So it's up to you.
I don't care. It's up to you. It's your series.
By the way, it is not my series. It is our series. It is 3 albums in a row, all within less than 36 months, which is also impressive.
It's also 3 albums in a row where we're not bitching.
It's also 3 albums in a row where they have the same lineup, which is a shocker.
No, 2.
No, 3.
2.
Dealing with It, Crossover, and
Felix was a replacement.
Yeah, I know, for the brother.
You mean for the next? I'm talking about the first 3 records we did. We have not bitched. We have not complained. These have been 3.
Yeah, they're good.
Great records.
This is far from. I mean, they're enjoyable. This is far from a Quiet Riot.
Four of a Kind. I'm sorry. What?
This is far from Quiet Riot.
Four of a kind.
Okay, sir. I guess, is it my turn to bring us home, or did you? I don't remember.
I believe you took us home last week, so I will take us home.
All right. We're getting done at a reasonable hour. I think this is less than 45 minutes of podcast time.
Yeah, we went. Thank you. I was going to use that in the Bring It Home series. Thank you. Thank you for hitting your damn button. And thank you, everyone else not named Keefy, for listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast. There is nothing more gratifying. There is nothing more satisfying. There is nothing more awesome than the fact that there are people out there in this world that want to sit at their YouTubes, sit on their phones, and listen to us pontificate about music we love, hate, or are about. As longtime listeners will know, we've had records of all those stripes. However, we are small content creators, and we would love to get the show to a wider audience. We try to bring underground metal and mainstream underground metal to a wider world, and the best way you can help us do that is by liking, subscribing, and commenting and reviewing on any particular platform you listen to. If you are watching me talk on YouTube, funny how. Am I a clown? Am I here to amuse you? Yes, I am. And you do not need to worry about folding under questioning. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Hopefully you have enjoyed I'm going to quote Michael Palin. If you have enjoyed this if you've enjoyed listening to this, watching this half as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you, well then, we've enjoyed it twice as much as you. This is my favorite hour of the week. Thank you for joining us. Keefy, my good friend, it's always lovely to see you. Listeners, it's always lovely for you to hear me. And with that, as we say every week, this is the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria. However, as D.R.I does not play stadiums, they probably do.
They definitely do. Happy birthday, Nik, and Merry Christmas to all.
Happy New Year.